Hi guys. What is up, family? It is Tuesday. Goodness gracious. I kept setting the intention to check in yesterday and it just turned into one of the busiest days in a lot of unrelated ways, but here we are. How are you doing? How are you feeling? We've kind of had, what would you say, a reprieve. We've kind of had a little bit of recovery time. I think it's super nice that, why is our music not playing? We normally got like vibes in the background. That's really loud though, so we're going to turn that down. It's kind of a vibe though for a second. That's a little better. Yeah, so wow, it was 1 minute 11 seconds when I looked up. I'm gonna get myself together. You guys, I don't have a candle going. I don't yeah, anyway, it's been good. It feels good to me. I feel a shift in the energy. Even though I'm sure a lot of people are mourning the Pope and everything, and we won't get into that here. I don't have any negative opinions against the man himself. I think I've mentioned my view on it, but you know what? I feel that the energy feels good. It's like, I don't know, some sort of new, Lord bless. Y'all, I'm so clumsy in real life, I'm not even gonna lie. I haven't taken this deck out forever either. It's called the Alchemical Visions Tarot. Not for nothing, as we speak of the Pope, the last Hierophant in a very long tradition. It's really hard, though, to literally sit down in the collective energy of Taurus and not think about the Hierophant card and the Major Arcana, and then to not think about the Pope. And it's not about religion. It's about something so much bigger. It's the end of an era of the age of Pisces. I would encourage you, if you feel a zing, or if you feel curiosity, even, can we zoom it out a little bit? Even just like, how do we say, sitting with the energy of that. I would encourage you to just tumble down some rabbit holes. Let me read though, just for, may his soul rest in peace in all timelines and dimensions. I believe that he was a powerful, beautiful, special soul. Y'all, man, I just want to make a video where we spiral into his chart if you were interested. Child, Saturn in Pisces, Sagittarius, his North Node, like, it is bananas. Bananas. This is why I say the more that you delve into astrology, you'll be like, wait a minute. You know what I'm talking about? The end of the age of Pisces. This wise, deep, profound, close to the galactic center, Sagittarius. There's so much. If you're curious, dip down that rabbit hole. If nothing but to just sit in the energy of understanding that astrology is everything, y'all. Okay, but I digress. I'm lighting some rosemary. How have you been? How you feeling? I do, though. I love for us, like I said, we're getting a little bit of a break. We haven't had any real major aspects. I mean, yes, we're feeling out this locked up, gridded up, T squared up, it's a Mars, Pluto. The energy is kind of rolling out. But I really feel, I'm not going to say it may not still be tense. Here it is. I found this image. But it feels good, y'all. It feels like if you have done the proper homework to... So, Spirit is showing me some sort of grid, and it looks like... It almost looks like a spider web of sorts. But it's like all these energetic cords tied, but it has to do with timelines. It's very quantum looking. Excuse me. Let's go ahead and take this out while we're chit-chatting. It is, it's a lot of cord cutting. Pluto and Aquarius, that totally makes sense. Okay, hold on. Pluto and Aquarius, Mars and Leo. It does make sense because Mars and Leo is very divinely present now, ready to take action. Fire, willpower, inspired creativity, you know. Okay, yes. I did my emotional homework. I did my karmic, ancestral. I did my womb work. I did my homework, right? And Mars doesn't just have to be masculine. It's just that type of energetic signature. And it's very, but Pluto and Aquarius is like, okay, Mars, but what we're not going to do is try to get out and perform for everybody. We're not going to do that. We're going to be divinely inspired to go do the thing that serves the highest and best good, whether it's creative, whether it's passionate, whether it's some bulls on parade type, you know, rally around the family ship, whatever your soul purpose is that you're divinely inspired to take into this new set of timelines. They will continue to open up, to merge. Spirit is showing me the sowing, like in this. What is the image, you guys? Spirit is showing me like people falling through layers and layers and layers. Imagine a wormhole, but it keeps stretching down and it's bouncing back up. And it looks like a trampoline made of spiderweb, okay? But it's in the fucking galactic cosmic, is quantum. I think what Spirit is trying to show me is that a lot of things are being cut away, uncleaned and cleared out. And as we, very Virgo, very Taurus season, very Uranus and Taurus, boom, we're pulling in, calling back. The year of the 9. The 9 always returns. Triplicity returns. But I see it like everyone pulling all these webs of their power back. And it's creating a slingshot effect, like, but we're also, but it's like, now I'm seeing someone catch a boomerang. Sun and Taurus, the Hierophant, Uranus and Taurus, right? We're in a Taurusy place. I don't know how do you say that differently. Is very, the Hierophant, child. Now I want to look for the Hierophant in this deck. It's so good. If you're curious about alchemy, if you're on, we are all on an alchemical journey. This is like progressing from 3D to 4D. 4D to 5D gets way more cosmic, but it always returns to embodiment. That's why it's important to understand how much Virgo, yeah, child, they big as hell. I'm not even gonna lie. It's important to understand how much Virgo. Somebody said, how the hell are you about to shuffle those? I gotta lay them out too. It's been a minute, and this is kind of like how I cleanse. You know, we need to cleanse them, honestly. It's been a minute. I worked with these heavy last year, and what I would do, you guys, is I would pull one, right, and kind of journal on it and understand it or meditate and sit with it. And they're so beautiful. You'll see. They're amazing. I would pull one, and then like I would use a different deck to clarify, or you know, do oracles with it, or whatever you like resonate with. Okay, thank you, Spirit of the Rosemary, for providing your beautiful cleansing energy. So we're gonna chit chat, and I'm gonna lay them out. I lay them out. I feel like it's kind of like when I lay my cards out, it's like airing out, I don't know, the laundry. They're so big. I need a little bit more space now. And at the same time, that let's go back to I was seeing catching a boomerang, but it's like you with you, your higher self. You caught yourself? What? In this big quantum net? What? But also I'm seeing the Hierophant, and you guys will understand, and the very deeper occulted knowledge and the teachings that are wrapped in the collective body of energy of the tarot. The tarot was wrapped as a collective body of potent energy. And you could carry it, so to speak, with you if it was well disguised, and you would always have connection to this body of energy in a very discreet way. If you're fascinated by that, you know, you can definitely check out the history of the tarot. But what I'm saying is you can go so much deeper into the occulted teachings, wisdom, whether you look at it Kabbalistic, Tree of Life. You can take it in so many different directions, but everything is here. Right? Okay. I encourage you to deepen and even understand that astrology is woven in the tarot as well. That's why I always joke and say over here, you're going to always get a little bit of tarot astrology because it's all there. So in the Hierophant, which yes, is the season of Sun and Taurus card, he is, the Hebrew letter associated with it is Vav, and it has to do with nail. And it makes me think of this image that I'm seeing because he, as the Hierophant, imagine, okay, crown chakra, maybe someone's been working with their crown. Hopefully we all are, because, child, we got to work in all of this that we got from the closure of the portal that we went into with the going back to last year, total solar eclipse in Aries. Then we closed that portal at the end of this recent eclipse season when we had the partial. So hopefully you're all working with your crown as well as your solar plexus, but your crown and your mental body a lot. Your body is being prepared, right, with all this Virgo energy. Uranus is going to go into Gemini this summer. Saturn going to start a new... Child, listen! I get excited. Let me focus. So the Hierophant, it has to do with him being open and receptive like a bridge and letting the light flow through him and then nailing it down into different physicalities, realities, and the way that he does that, of course, is through teaching, right? Or creating tradition, stuff like this. You can have Hierophants in your family. You can have a Hierophant at your job. A Hierophant could be a professor. It could be a spiritual teacher. I don't like when people only view the Hierophant card as a very spiritual, like a priest or something. But wow, put a pin note in that and come back to it. Thank your Aquarius friend, and just dive into, oh yeah, I wanted to read this just out of respect for him. No, I'm not a religious person, but I'm speaking of this man's soul and his soul contracts that he incarnated to carry this crazy closure of the Piscean age. Okay, this little snippet. The fall of the last gatekeeper. Didn't I share this? I think I shared this. The fall of the last gatekeeper. Pope Francis was not just a man. He was the final sigil holder of the Piscean age. He bore the weight of the Vatican's final karmic cycle, its last breath before spiritual bankruptcy. The Vatican is a symbol of the inverted crown. You know, don't get me started about Saturnian, inverted tesseract, dark black magic, all of that. No, I do not believe he was connected to that. But I believe that he understood the weight of what he came to do. That's like saying... Spirit is giving me a metaphor. A spirit, a soul who knew that she was going to incarnate as a woman. I'm sorry, the soul probably doesn't have gender, but you know what I'm saying? The soul knew, I'm going to incarnate as a woman. I'm going to end the biggest child trafficking ring you've ever seen. But I know in order to do it in the way that it needs to be done, in the right way, without sacrificing the candor, the nobility, the purity of my soul. I know I'm gonna have to dip in and do this shit a certain way, and I'm gonna have to not lose myself. It's like an undercover agent, and then they go in and they go through the whole process of maybe being a prostitute and doing X, Y, and Z and all of this, but they never lose the essence of their soul or the goal that was at the end of the game. It's something like this, Spirit is showing me. And then because of what they were willing to take on, they get to the end of their life and end some like entire multi-billionaire worldwide global scale of, you know what I'm saying? It's something like this. Anyway, to finish reading this, he bore the weight of the Vatican's final karmic cycle, its last breath before spiritual bankruptcy. The Vatican is a symbol of the inverted crown. It sits atop a stolen gnosis built upon the bones of forgotten mysteries. And a lot of fucking priestesses, I'll tell you that. Okay, with his death, the gate to the old aeon closes. And the last vicar falls, not just physically, but energetically. So, what? In Taurus season as well as Saturn is completing Pisces? When Neptune just went to Aries, don't miss the symbolism. Please, child. Age of Aquarius said no more. But it's very much with deep respect, you know, thank him for his service and everything that he did. Look, I'm going to try something. I think it might work, though, y'all. It is. Okay. Cool. I didn't think I was going to be able to do that. So, there's so much. Have you ever worked with Crowley's deck? The Toth deck? The Hierophant in there is amazing. It is ridiculously jammed pack. But Taurus season in general, though, it's really amazing. It's very, very beautiful. I think it's very grounding. We need Taurus season so much right now. I hope you are all doing well as all planets are direct. And Pluto and Aquarius will continue doing that tough work of the redistribution of energy, disclosure, dismantle of power, and the way that it stands in the way of the human collective evolving and growing and healing and reorienting with their true alignment and their true personal power and all that, right? Mars and Leo is going to have to work to meet the standard of Pluto and Aquarius, but I think they make a good team. What do we have? We have a new moon coming up, which will be in Taurus. Okay. That's going to be on like the 27th, I think. And technically, we come out of a clearing. When we clear the first eclipse season portal, it's like the first new moon. You really feel into a different set of energy. So that could maybe be interesting for you this week as you kind of feel out the closure of, I really feel like, honestly, a time frame that even goes back to, I dare say, August, late August, September of 2023. I really do. What else? Oh, we're going to have a full moon in Scorpio. Oh, that's interesting. That's kind of a throwback to the 2022 nodes. What an interesting vibration to open with a new moon in Taurus and a full moon in Scorpio. Very interesting. We also have Black Moon Lilith in Scorpio, child. I know you better get to them shadow works before they pop out and come for you, okay? And that's not a scary thing. It's just, hey, if you dance with your shadows and you face them and you do the work, it's going to go a lot easier. How do we say with all this energy out here? But again, I think, let me tell you, Taurus season is so fucking necessary because it says, hold on, fixed earth. You incarnated as a soul on this journey to be on earth. Don't forget that earth is beautiful. The earth signs and this rulership of Virgo, right? The year of the Hermit, the year of 9, that's Virgo energy. We also have our South Node in Virgo. So Virgo says embodiment. Taurus season says it's like an organic reconnection to the flow of the earth, you know? And we're not forcing, we're being very present. And it's moving slowly with deep intention. It's a lot of alignment. It's very the bull. It's very, Taurus season brings out for me a lot of Hathor. What was the bull's name? There's a bull. Is it I can't remember. I'm not going to try to say it. I know it's related to the god Ptah, but, anyway, it's beautiful energy. Okay. It's a very solid sense of your worth. It's Taurian. It's Venusian. It's the Empress. And it's, I think it is very beautiful, even considering the Mars-Pluto energy having that last planet and kind of rippling out. I love that Taurus always reminds us, and you guys know I will die on that hill, okay? It's not just money that makes you rich. We all waking up to that, though. Uranus and Taurus. Uranus and Taurus, friends, right? Where is my tab? Yeah, so I hope you all are maybe just kind of at least relaxing, right? Being very present. There it is. I found it. Child, I got so many damn tabs open. Shoot, I really want to see that later, so I just want to make sure. Yeah, there's really not, I mean, tomorrow, Wednesday, the sun in Taurus will square Pluto in Aquarius, which I think if you don't resist, if you accept and flow, it'll actually do a lot of work for us. I think sun squaring Pluto in Aquarius this week could really be uncomfortable if you just have power struggles with your life, with your money, with your, I don't know, could be social circles. For me, when I feel into it, it's a lot more about money, what you value, saving, changing your daily routines and habits. How can you redistribute your own energy to remove your own blockages? Because to me, this year is much more of a building year, but you know how I feel about that. You go through it in fours, 2021, 22, 23, 24. You hit a leap year and then boom. It's going to move slower. It's almost like you elevate. I'm thinking now, 18, 19. Yeah, 18, 19, 20, 21. Boom. 22, 20. Yeah, anyway, you get what I'm saying. This year is slower moving. When does Venus start? Oh, that's not with this. That's with Saturn. That's what I was thinking about. Venus is going to conjunct Saturn on Thursday. Interesting news cycles there. Okay, anyway, let me go back to today. Yeah, I ain't even gonna lie. It's still... Ooh, child. Did I refresh it for... Yes, it's refreshed for today. Yep. Pluto and Mars, Black Moon Lilith, and Sun in Taurus. Interesting. The sun's getting a lot of squares. Or should I say the sun is squaring. But I think that's good. It's healthy. We need those codes. We need that integration. I do like that Mars in Leo is trining the North Node in Pisces. That helps them kind of remember all the work that you did. You know, reconnect to your highest divine alignment as you move forward. Okay, and... Child, why am I seeing that scene from The Office where they're holding up their finger pointer guns and they're all looking at each other? You know what I'm talking about? Ooh, Pluto and Aquarius, Black Moon Lilith. Black Moon Lilith to Mars and Leo. Leo, this fixed energy, y'all. This is... But what it reminds you is that irregardless, when the trees are outside growing, you know what I mean? Go pick some flowers. Make something beautiful. Be present. Cook your favorite meal that's nourishing and healthy, right? The best medicine right now is to be very present in your own life, right? It's really interesting. I was just thinking about how we are talking about the Hierophant card, Sun in Taurus season, right? Spirit keeps taking me back to that web, and someone's being like, drop, choo, 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 but then it's like, poof, they finally hit the one, and it stretches, and then whoosh, they come back up. It's all of this stuff on your path being moved out of the way. And I see that very much in the squares that we're dealing with right now. If the energy is handled properly, if you're very stubborn about, I said I was going to do it this way, it's the only way I'm going to do it. You know, manifestation only works for me if I become a millionaire. You know, I'm not going to change my mind on this. I'm going to stubbornly. I feel like Mars is not going to be showing that he healed, and Pluto and Aquarius is not going to accept, oh, you're still stubbornly pushing this old agenda. Get the fuck out of here. Respectfully. Actually, disrespectfully, because we don't have time for this anymore. Or I shouldn't say time. What is that? We don't have the energy. We could be doing so many other things than you still trying to do this is very much a vibe. It's interesting, though, because like I was saying about the Hierophant having to do with these nails and... am I saying Vav? It's not Tav, it's Vav, right? Yeah. A nail, meaning that which joins. There's something that is now joining differently, the macro and the micro. And it's the humans in the middle. And how we are awakening to that remembrance. And the beautiful North Node in Pisces still supporting us. And I love that. But it's almost like new hierophants, new priests, priestess, new magicians, and they're holding staffs and they're nailing down what was, the cords were cut, but we're not, but it's like we're reaching up. I'm seeing the scene. What is this scene? It's something about removing the nails, but putting new ones in place, new hierophants. I don't know, it's something like this. This is what I see. I do find it interesting also that the Hierophant comes after the Emperor. The Emperor is the Aries card. And all this Neptune in Aries, all this, you know, Saturn soon to be by end of May in Aries. Very interesting as well. That literally we're just talking about integrating all of this solar energy, solar plexus, crown, mental body. We've had Jupiter in Gemini, and we had our total solar eclipse last year in Aries season with all that Aries energy. So yeah. There's a lot about spiritual mastery. There's a lot about quest for knowledge, new teachers, new spiritual books, new spiritual practice. I'm excited. The Hierophant, I love it. I love that energy. But I think with Taurus season here, it's like find the new spiritual out in nature. There's something to be very mindful of about the shadow side of Pluto and Aquarius, age of Aquarius, right? Is that there's a shadow side of, you know, technology, connecting, phones, YouTube, social media. There's beautiful things to all of this that aid in us evolving spiritually, us having a different level of spiritual mastery, taking spiritual courses, having access to knowledge share. But we have to remember also our own. I always love Chris Ann's Lightseers Tarot, and she always talks about how with the Hierophant is you are your own guru. And I say that a lot in one-on-one work. You are your own guru. You are your own highest and best good of a teacher, of a leader, of a guide. Connect with your spirit team, your team in higher dimensions, your ancestors, all that, right? You connect with you first and foremost because you're going to be your best guide. Connect yourself to divine source, right? In your own spiritual quest for knowledge. And remember that you're an electromagnetic being. You're a complicated motherfucking house plant. Okay. Like you have to go outside. You have to put your bare feet on the ground. You need to be in living waters, in flowing rivers, by the ocean. There are new ways for you in your quest of relearning how to be your own spiritual master first and foremost, or choosing like, do I want this tradition or that? Am I ready maybe for my own tradition? Maybe I have a salad bowl of traditions. I do. I love that for you. Okay. Very eclectic witch, eclectic spiritual person over here. Shout out. I love it. We're in an intense period of learning and remembering and trusting ourselves to teach ourselves, but then also we're doing it together. We're mentoring each other. So there's so much. There's just so much in this Taurus season. I love it. Oh, Apis. Happus. Wasn't that the bull? I follow this one person and he has this habit of, I think he's an earth sign too, but he's always like, bull gang. And I always think about it. It's like related to Memphis, because I remember when I was reading about this, I love the Egyptian pantheon, right? And I was just thinking about how they revered these bulls, you know, and then I would think about Memphis and country people and cattle. Child, anyways. My brain goes everywhere. Also, Vav in Gematria, which I was studying about the other day, Vav is the Hebrew letter connected to all major arcanas have a Hebrew letter. But Vav in Gematria is 6. And it's very fascinating to consider a lot of like what Saturn is doing in the hexagram and unnailing things so that they can receive new light through new windows, very Age of Aquarius. And then so new leaders and hierophants and priests and priestesses so we can all work together to nail down new timelines. Child, it's interesting. But listen, I do have to work on some personal readings today. Gosh, I love when everything really starts popping out. I just want to be outside with a basket and I go harvest. Honeysuckle is just hollering at me, y'all. The honeysuckle, you can smell her everywhere you turn around. And I have an event for Bieltene. And we love a good honeysuckle creation. Okay. All right. What do we have, Spirit? Ooh, 6 of Swords. But can we just look at the card, y'all? Look at it. These cards are so deep. Oh, look at the Dolphin Spirit. I have the medicine cards with all my animals. If I remember, I would love to read Dolphin. I deeply connect to dolphins as like record keepers. Jupiter, the Chariot. I'm hearing the sun will come out tomorrow. Bet your bottom dollar on. I'm getting this vibe of like just people daydreaming of people they can't get in touch with anymore. People passing away as well. Again, may he rest in peace, right? I don't know, energetically this card feels like mourning, but I love the 6 of Swords because it's very much a spiritual evolution. But unless you're willing to leave one shore to go to another, and leaving anything behind is going to be mourning. And it's also going to say, you can't come with me, or you can't bring everything, or maybe you'll see them on the other shore if they're able to pack their shit up and get on the level of boat that you got on, and who knows, but we gotta go. Is this a funeral pyre or a funeral? What do you call it? Look, we're gonna read, but I'm gonna tell you this gets deep. It's good. It's good to learn new things, though. Hold on, you guys. Okay. Here we go. Yeah, that's what I thought. Okay, a watery funeral is at the center of the 6 of Swords. A dark man is rowing a floating draped funeral cortege across a lake toward a distant shore. The coffin has 6 bright swords piercing it. In all the decks that I've collected and all the traditional and non-traditional, I've never seen a coffin in this. So this is very interesting. But doesn't this type of evolution require some sort of dark night or death leaving behind? Right. Okay. So very interesting to me. The coffin has 6 bright swords piercing it. The boat is surrounded by water spirits, alligators, and celebrating dolphins. Ooh, where are the alligators? Oh shit, y'all. They're right down there. Above, Apollo rides his chariot on a rainbow, and behind Apollo is Jupiter. It is with difficulty that the man propels the heavy boat to its destination. Movement on the journey is difficult and it takes considerable effort, whether on land or on water, whether in mundane world or in the water or the world of the psyche. Why is it giving astral travel? I'm also getting Chiron a lot from this bridge. Maybe in your Chiron placement, there might be a big message. Astral travel, the dolphin, something about you're being tended to while you sleep, or maybe like in a guided meditation when you're in a lucid state. Interesting. Movement on the this adventure is not for the faint of heart. However, it must be pointed out that some movement, no matter how small or tentative, is better than no movement at all. Absolutely, very Taurus season like. Very Taurus season like. In the Six of Swords, our eye is immediately drawn to the complex center of the card, waterborne funeral cortege. Death in alchemy is related to the operation of putrefactico, that is, putrefaction. As awful as it sounds, in the minds of the alchemists, it is a necessary and beautiful process by which the four elements are separated, whereby the soul emerges from the body. Exactly. Talking about this all the time. I used to always talk about how I love to visit apple orchard that's not far from us, and it's always fascinating, excuse me, when you see some trees you thought you were that were lost for whatever reason, right? Maybe the fruit rotted, it got sick, maybe they poured in a shit ton into the tree and it just didn't. So then everything is in a death state and it goes into the soil, but then it incubates. And then lo and behold, maybe you have a new baby tree in a season or two, and you don't realize that maybe you cried over an apple that was lost, or let's say lost fruit. But their seeds are still in there and they nourish and they go into the soil. And just because you don't see that doesn't mean it's not happening. You know what I'm saying? Maybe someone is going through feeling like, what is the fucking point of all of this, is what I heard. I feel that though. I really do. Ordinary matter is left behind after the putrefaction and the spirit is set free. It is seen as distillation leading to the pure elements, and to gain even greater purity, the process has to be repeated many times. Yes, like sauteing I don't know, a roux, a sauce. You got to keep sauteing it down, right? Making a weapon and forging it into the fire is like over and over again. Like, are you fucking kidding me? I got to go in again. And then it gets folded over and ding, ding, ding. You know what I mean? It has to happen multiple times. In alchemy, this is really interesting. Black Moon Lilith and Scorpio, Pluto and Aquarius. Pluto rules Scorpio, and last year, not only was it a year of 8 in relation to the Leo strength card, but the soft white underbelly of the 8 is also the 8th house, which is scorpionic. So we did a lot of work and it came up a lot last year. Like, what's in your 8th house? Talking about taboo things you need to heal. What are the skeletons in the closet? What's in the big belly of the pit of the beast? What's the elephant in the room that no one's talking about, right? In alchemy, death is also a prerequisite to rejuvenation. This is the heart of the Six of Swords. Every ending is an opportunity for a new beginning. This is why the ferryman is rowing toward the land. He seems strong and confident in his work. This is why the dolphins around the funeral barge seem to be jumping with joy. And this is why creatures of the sea, real and mythical, rise to the surface to do homage to the ritual taking place. So maybe this is a core. It's funny, we're seeing all these swords and it's like death, but then it's celebration and Chiron. So maybe the cord cutting, the vision, some of the visual things that were coming through in the beginning, maybe there is cord cutting. Maybe you can't, so to speak, receive your return. Very Jupiter, right? Let me, I'm seeing that reel where the girl is always like, catch it. You know what I was talking about? Why am I seeing her? Talking about, I'm going to use the term God, but of course, however you resonate is totally fine. Let's say the divine cannot bless you if you keep settling for lesser something, you know, catch it. Y'all know the girl I'm talking about. This is what I'm seeing. The universe is trying to boomerang something, and it could be your power, your energy, your whatever that was being siphoned off of you. It's time to receive it back. The year of the 9 and the fruitful harvest is that the triplicities always return back. 3, 3, 3, 3, 6, 9. It always comes back. You know what I'm saying? And it doesn't mean, child, hold on, Spirit said, you better tell them. It don't mean somebody's going to come back from the past. It's not, that may not be, it could be for some. Maybe things that were quote unquote metaphysically or actually physically in the tangible, or your health or your time or your money, whatever it may be for you on your path, love and light. Riches and prosperity are not always in a material form or in a form of money anyway. But it's like returns to you threefold is something like this. The Six of Swords seem primed to pry open the coffin. Each being different, perhaps each will try a different way to get in. They seem ready to help the coffin burst open to release the rejuvenated soul. 3 of the swords are straight and thus associated with the male solar principles, while 3 are curved and associated with feminine and lunar. If the coffin... Wait, we were talking about Vav meaning 6, and it's a 6, y'all? Wow. That's so interesting. Sorry. Damn, I lost my place again. There we go. If the coffin is to open and begin the process of regeneration, it will be the alchemical conjunction of the sun and the moon. The masculine and the feminine. The alchemical opposites that will be needed. That's so interesting because we're having a sun in Taurus, but then in 5 days about, we're going to have a moon in Taurus as well. That's interesting. Why is that standing out to me, the conjunction of the sun and the moon? It will be the alchemical conjunction of the sun and the moon, the masculine and the feminine, the alchemical opposites that will be needed. To complete the celebration of renewal, Apollo in his chariot is riding a rainbow. Jupiter is behind him in the bright green symbol. He gallops past. Like the gods of Richard Wagner's Ring of the... I don't know what book that is. Who walk across the rainbow bridge in their... Valhalla. You know how I'm always talking about... that also reminds me of Pluto being way out there. They're talking about Valhalla. Apollo seems ready to transport the emerging soul from the heavens back to the safety of the ground where the traveler can continue his journey. And it's also very Virgo, very calling the light back into the lantern, the hermit, you know, embodying yourself once again. We've come back to ourselves after periods of like decades. For some. For a lot, I feel like it's after a period of like 12 years. Or this could have been like multiple dark nights of the soul, but gaining more and more of yourself each time, waking up more and more each time. Of course, it's definitely it's on an accelerated path now. In addition, the goddess of the rainbow Iris was Zeus' messenger, and it links her with Hermes and Mercury, the messenger who represents the reconciliation of opposites, more particularly those above with below. Furthermore, the alchemist saw the creation of the colors of the rainbow as the result of the conjunction of 2 polar principles, sulfur and Mercury, of the sun and the moon, of fire and water, of light and darkness. Well, the rainbow is actually because of light and water, but, you know. The rainbow appearing at the end of a storm is a symbol of cleansing. In the Hindu and Tantric traditions, the highest meditative state, the rainbow body, is achieved as the ultimate oneness and is typically achieved only at the time of death. In the Six of Swords, death leads to rebirth and renewal. The Six of Swords is telling the traveler that the journey is not a constant forward movement. Expect stops and starts. Enjoy the stops. And the stops can seem like death, but they're only preludes to rejuvenation. Okay, this feels like finally feeling rebirth after a very challenging time. The Two of Wands on the bottom too. Interesting. Yeah, it's like you going over a crossroads, and I feel like Taurus season is really waking us up. Let's read Dolphin too, by the way. Medicine cards. The cards are actually over there. I should take them out soon, but the book is so good. Jamie Sams, David Carson is wonderful. If you've never used these oracle cards or read this book, it's amazing. Let's read about the spirit of Dolphin. Page 197. Dolphin, breathe with me, breath of the divine, manna of the universe, in oneness we entwine. Dolphin, manna. Dolphin speaks to us of the breath of life, the only thing that humans cannot go without for more than a few minutes. We can live without water and food for days, but oxygen is the source of our sustenance. Within the breath, we encounter the rhythm of energy that life emits. In changing the rate or rhythmic texture of our breath, we can tap into any other life form or creature. This is a very easy way to connect with divine energy coming from Great Spirit, as well as with your own personal rhythms. Dolphin is the keeper of the sacred breath of light. Oh, I said breath of light. Breath of life, I mean. Interesting. So breath work for some. Oh, sorry, guys. I fully just smacked the whole camera. Dolphin is the keeper of the sacred breath of life and teaches us how to release emotions through dolphin breath. Dolphin creates rhythm, swimming through the water and breathing before submerging, then holding its breath for the duration of underwater travel. Some breath work, swimming, maybe swimming is something, being in the water, near the water, anything Lemurian. I'm seeing Lemurian quartz, gatekeeper, something, gatekeeper. Huh. Is there a gatekeeper stone? Why am I hearing that? Gatekeeper stone? Soul stone gatekeeper is what came up. What is this? Oh shit. That's the I'm sorry. Isn't that from Avengers? Hold on, I have to read this now. Why did that come up? The keeper of the soul stone was who you thought it was. Why is this coming up? I was just skimming through it and reading through it and trying to remember. Oh, yeah, the red skull. He was trying to control an infinity stone, but it rejected him. He's tied to the soul stone now as a representative, but it seems he can never possess it himself. The stone cast him out. A powerful cosmic stone that was sentient and had its own will to a certain degree. Wow, I'm sorry. Why is that coming through? A gatekeeper. Why is Spirit taking me back now to this visual that I saw in the beginning? It's like something that belonged to others could have never been possessed, and everything played out the way that it did, love and light, but we were always going to return to ourselves. or something like this. And the soul, it was a soul that was falling and falling and falling. And then remember I was telling you like a spider web, and it hit and then it bounced back. There's something like we were always going to return to ourselves. Okay, that's very fascinating. But now I also need to know, wait, when I type in gatekeeper, it says, child, we cannot spiral into that right now. Gatekeeper, Elder Scrolls or something. No, I'm trying to look up a gemstone. Okay, look, because we could probably go for another hour. So, what is this? What is this? There's something called the Gatekeeper Stone. And it's at some kind of megalith location. Where is this at? But then it was moved. The Gatekeeper Stone bears traces of fossilized water on one surface. Amber russet ripples. It contrasts dramatically with the clean interior of the stone, but is not... Yeah, huh? The ancient relic was selected from a... So it was pulled out of some sort of quarry? An ocean stone? The first ocean stone was adopted by Greenpeace and dedicated to the protection of the oceans. Something about St. Paul's Cathedral. What? It's the Sentinel Stone that is at some kind of gateway. But where is it at? Listen, let me know. Oh, child, look. What are the dolphins trying to tell us about gatekeeping and stones? Hold on, okay? Okay. As Dolphin comes above the water again, it blows its breath out in a manner resembling the popping of a cork. We can use the same technique to pull the stopper on our tension and create total relaxation. Definitely fourfold breath. Research that. Box breathing as well. This is a good exercise to use before entering the silence. Mana is life force. Mana is present in every atom and is Great Spirit's essence. Dolphin teaches us how to use mana through our breath. It revitalizes each cell and organ and breaks the limits and dimensions of physical reality so that we may enter the dream time. Dolphin was traveling the oceans one day as Grandmother Moon was weaving the patterns of the tides. Grandmother Moon asked Dolphin to learn her rhythms so that he could be open to his female side of her silvery light. Dolphin began to swim to the rhythm of her tide weaving and learned to breathe in a new way. As Dolphin continued to use this new rhythm, he entered the dream time. This reality was a new and different place from the seas he had known. Dolphin came to discover underwater cities in the dream time. What? Protector of the ocean? That's what that gatekeeper, that stone, the Sentinel Stone, was talking about. And Dolphin? Underwater cities? What? Hold on. Okay. Are we falling into the ocean in that image that started? Okay. Dolphin came to discover underwater cities in the dream time and was given the gift of the primordial tongue. This new language was the sound language that was brought by Spider from the Great Star Nation. Child, what you can't make this up. We were talking about what looked like a galactic cosmic quantum spiderweb. What? Hold on. Okay. Sorry, y'all. Dolphin learned that all communication was pattern and rhythm, and that the new aspect of communication was sound. He carries this original pattern to this day. Dolphin returned to the ocean of Great Mother and was very sad until Whale came by and told Dolphin that he could return to be a messenger to the Dreamtime dwellers anytime he felt the rhythm and used the breath. Dolphin was given a new job. He became the carrier of messages of our progress. The Dreamtime dwellers were curious about the children of Earth and wanted us to grow to be at one with Great Spirit. Dolphin was to be the link. If Dolphin has appeared to you today, frothing through the waves in your spread, you are to be a link to some solution for the children of Earth. This can be a time when you are to link with Great Spirit and bring answers to your own questions or to those of others. In addition, this can mean a time of communication with rhythms of nature. You are put on notice to be mindful of your body rhythms and patterns of energy being fed to you from the Creator. Imitate Dolphin and ride the waves of laughter, spreading joy in the world. Breathe and experience the manna so freely given. Break existing barriers and connect to the Dreamtime or the Great Star Nation. Know that we are whole in the eyes of the ever-living one. Wow. Okay, that is fascinating. That's a beautiful message, you know. This could also be like your spirit team, your team and higher self, you know, your ancestors, both galactic and earthbound, urging you to meet them in meditation. This can be like doing meditation or, like a spiritual bath, but particularly being in water. All right, guys, that's super fascinating. I'm going to leave it there for today. I think that kind of gave us like a lot to contemplate and think about. So I love you. Enjoy the time of just being grounded. Stay present. Go outside. Okay, take good care of yourself. I look forward to talking to you soon. All right, bye.